Warning, this podcast contains 2 weeks worth of spoilers.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast for the DC Double Power Hour. Whatever we're calling this. Why am I still in the first box?
Alphabetical?
Because we saved the
No,
producer.
Yes,
Too
because
much work to change it.
CPVL. Got it.
Hers comes first, though. So she's
what?
past the first box.
Mm-hmm.
Alphabetical order.
Oh. Not quite.
Yeah. I think DC Double Power Hour works. It's just this week is a little bit off because we're bringing in last week with this week, which is only this. It's 2 Legends episodes with Arrow and Black Lightning from last week. So.
The doubles DC Double Power Hour.
DC Double Power Hour.
The double DC Double Power Hour.
Double. I'm Cleo. Who are you people?
I'm here. That's as good as you get.
That's a person, and
That's a person.
and then that's a person, and I'm a people.
And you're a people.
Cool.
I think everyone knows us by now.
Okay, then.
And if this is the first episode you're watching, I am so sorry.
If this is the first episode you're watching, you need to stop and go back.
It's too much work. I don't expect anyone to do that. Anyway, Legends.
I don't know. I binge stupid TV shows all the time. This is probably no different.
We are
Yes,
a
Legends.
TV show. Yes. This episode, Daddy Darkest. We're talking about Daddy Darkest.
Mm-hmm.
I have been rewatching Constantine. This felt like an episode of Constantine.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
Awesome.
fantastic. Like, I loved the fact that, like, one of the first things we dive right into is Constantine name dropping. What's her face from the Constantine series?
Yeah.
The girl he was protecting in episode 1. It's fantastic because it's like, okay, you made me feel like the Constantine series that was canceled is canon now in the Arrowverse. You know, like, we knew that the same actor was over, but that's as far as we knew coming from the Arrow episode last season. We surmised, since it was the same actor playing the same character, that all of that was canon in the Arrowverse, but this is our confirmation here for sure. It is. I loved it.
Yeah, it was nice to know that there's connections there. You know, the history that was built with Constantine through its own series is still applicable to the Arrowverse.
Mm-hmm.
So, since I haven't rewatched Constantine,
Yeah,
it's kind of like okay.
I was going to do that, but, migraines happen. But, yeah, I actually really enjoyed this episode. The only thing that bugged me about this episode, and it's very trivial, was her wig. Just bugged me the whole entire episode. Like I said, it's very minor, but every time I saw it, I'm like, oh, God, can we get a better wig? Maybe?
No.
It did look very wiggish.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was just because they wanted her long black hair, and the actress just doesn't have that. And
No.
there was no way to use, like, those partial wigs where they kind of, like, fit in almost like weaves.
Yeah.
But
I love the whole concept of, let's send a message to the team in the future.
Yes.
You know, like, let's leave it behind something that we know is still there.
Yeah,
it
we've seen that
completely fails.
in a couple different time traveling shows.
Yeah.
That they've done things like that. So
Back to the Future is, part 2. Is my favorite one when Doc Brown goes, and sends a FedEx letter to Marty from, 90 years ago or whatever it was.
Yeah. So.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it was just a whole thing. I mean, you didn't know you don't know who was on what side through this whole entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
Kept you guessing, and then the realization that Emily was Dirk's daughter was
she was actually Nora. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah. And then Nurse Ratchet, it's like, oh, well, okay, there's something going on in this insane asylum. There's a reason why she's there, and there's a reason why, he's promised this nurse obviously something, or there's something that probably something they did in the past when they were stuck there to her by telling them that they're time traveling, especially from other worlds, that maybe changed her mind about things.
I like how when they were back in time, she was like this hot mama of a nurse, and in the future she gets all old. She's all
like,
frumpy.
You don't age well.
Yeah.
To be fair, it was the 60s. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that she hasn't aged well. She has aged, period.
Yeah.
She looks fine.
50 years later.
Yeah.
I know, but for me, it felt like it was like one of those getting old stereotypes where they like shrink. She seemed a lot shorter as an older person than when she was younger. I don't know, maybe it's the hair color. I don't know. It's like a illusion or something. Redheads.
I do love the fact that everyone's sitting around, like the receptionist, and everyone's standing around smoking in a hospital. This is a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, everybody's like, well, yeah, that was a thing, wasn't it? You're able to smoke in a hospital.
Yeah.
Which today
was really funny.
Red Bandit in chat says, I was getting a major Exorcist vibe from this episode of Legends. It definitely felt that way. Definitely felt that way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the way that had her body move and stuff like that. Yes, very much Exorcist.
I mean, I got that vibe just from watching the Exorcist series that they had.
To be fair, though, any visual representation of a possession of a demon and them being exorcised, they do bend ways that human bodies shouldn't bend. Their heads turn around, and pea soup and all that jazz.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Clay, we did a first impressions of Constantine, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We did 2 episodes, I think.
Did
2. Or I watched 2. I don't know if we did 2.
I think we watched 1.
Mm-hmm.
We might have done 2, and our second one was why we don't plan on continuing to watch. I don't remember.
I don't either.
It's been a while, because I remember they changed everything.
I'm gonna do some research.
I'm pretty sure it was, we watched it, and after watching it, I was reading something, and it told us that they were changing the lead actress, and we're like, yeah, we don't know about this anymore. And we decided not to continue on with it. But, yeah, it was a while ago, and, I'm glad we covered it. But
3 years ago.
Yeah.
And you only did season 1, episode 1.
Yep. Yeah, that's what it was. Red Bandit also says that Sarah suddenly making out with Constantine felt very out of character for her, and I don't think it did.
Nope.
No.
Oh no, they had a past.
Oh, they definitely have a past, and
we know that Sarah's bi.
She had just come out of her own possession at that point, I think, or was leading up to the point. So
yeah, it was.
She was probably really pumped at that point.
Yeah,
with, like adrenaline. So
well, the demon was projecting images into her brain.
It was just touring with her at that point.
Yeah.
Yep.
But no, they had something. There was something between them. They had that cat and mouse kind of thing. They insulted each other and sarcastic comments to each other.
Granted, this is the first time that Sarah's been with a guy on Legends.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't change the fact that she had that whole fling with Ollie, on behind Laurel's back, and everything.
And she dated guys. From what it said, she dated guys in high school. It wasn't like, Yeah, no, and she doesn't discriminate. She likes who she likes, and that's just how it is, and that's fine. And I like it. I actually liked.
I think it would be confusing for people that don't know Sarah outside of Legends. Because trying to look at that objectively, it's like, we don't have that information if you don't watch Arrow, you know? Like, we've only known her to be into women as far as Legends. So I can see where you feel that way.
She said it when was it Nazis? Nazis.
Yeah.
It was the Nazis. She says, I like men and I like women.
Yeah, she said it.
Oh, okay.
She said it multiple times that she's bi. It might not be like straightforward, oh hey, I'm bisexual, but she has mentioned it in several different ways.
She doesn't use the word, but she
definitely implies.
She likes who she likes, and there's no distinguishing. You know what I mean? If she likes you, she likes you. Doesn't matter if you're male or female.
That's a hot bod.
Okay.
I did like, wig aside, the actress that played young Nora was great.
Mm-hmm.
All of the parts where she was possessed, complete opposite of when she was like Nora, when she was shy and skittish and complacent and all that. Like, she's just complete different faces. And actresses and actors that can do that, where they can pull like a 1080 on you. I completely.
Well, her head did spin around.
Well, that's all CGI and shit. That's all.
Yeah, sure.
Visuals, but I mean, when an actress or an actor has that talent where they can play two different characters on the flip of a coin, I appreciate them so much, because believe me, it's I tried that in drama class way back in high school, and it's not easy. Not easy at all.
Yeah.
I mean, her being possessed, I mean, we don't know where exactly Malice comes from. We don't know anything about him, where he came from. But
the only thing we know about him is he's voiced by John Noble.
That's about it.
Do we know that? Wait, is he?
Yes.
Yes.
You sasaid this last time when I said that.
Okay, because every time they say his name, I'm like, wait, are they saying Moloch? Because wasn't that the name of the
Sleepy Hollow?
Yeah. Sleepy Hollow. Okay.
Yeah, with John Noble.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
He's just playing low-key playing the same character.
No, he didn't play Malice. He played.
Oh, you're right.
He played the other horseman.
Yeah.
I mean, and I've come up with a couple, because we know when her dad, when Dark died, when Ollie finally killed him, she was left in one of those altar places with the little head thing that gave him his powers. And I'm wondering if something happened and he came from that. You know what I mean? And that's how she ended up possessed. Because it sounds like it started. We don't know if it started before or after. It could have been started before. Dark could have been prepping his daughter before this, for all we know. But I have a feeling it has something to do tied to how Dark got his powers and those totems and stuff.
You know what? That actually makes sense. If he was prepping her in anticipation of his own death. Okay. I'd believe that. It's very in character for Dark.
Yes, it is. I mean, look what he did to his wife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, and she was a very, I mean, from the ones we saw from her, she was very, before this, she was very much a child of, or like a rich daddy kind of spoiled child. And I think having her dad die and then being shipped off to foster home after foster home and then being possessed on top of it and then being in an insane asylum, I think changed her personality. And she's a lot. And of course she's scared shit. She doesn't know what's going on because her dad died. No one's there to guide her.
Yeah, I mean, I never met Nora before in any other form. So what I got from her this episode is she's a very timid and skittish kind of person, probably because of everything that led up to this point. But like even when we see her get out of the asylum with Leo and Sarah and Zari, it was just Zari.
It was
Zari and
Ray.
And Ray, and they went to Central City. They went to Jitters.
They went to a coffee shop. Yeah, that was funny.
She seemed like she was just like really appreciative, and she's of course she's shying away. She's unsure. She's cautious.
Yeah.
But
that's not how she was in Arrow. We didn't see very much of her.
Yeah, she was still timid. She was very quiet. Like she had hardly any lines.
Now this was
you could
not
tell she was very
Central City Jitters, right? This was just
no, but it was the exact same set.
Yeah, it was. That's why I say Central City because it's the exact same set of Jitters.
I mean, the coffee shop did say Jitters on it. That's why I was not sure if it was Central City's Jitters or like some franchises you go in and they're literal exactly
the same. Didn't it say Star City? I can't remember. It said where the asylum. It's wherever the asylum is where this is.
I mean, we've been in this. If this is the one that's in Star City, we've been in here before. This is where Ollie bumped into the girl that has a kid. So we've been in this exact coffee shop before.
Yeah, I think it was in Star City. I think that's what it said. Star City 2018, and then it said Star City, 1969.
When Ollie bumped into his baby mama, that was in Central City because she had moved to Central City. That was.
I think this is really. I think it is Central City.
Oh. Is it? I don't know.
I just gotta find the name of the asylum again, and it'll tell me.
It had like go down below. It said, da da da.
It said the city and the year, and I don't remember.
But yeah, so I mean, of course, her personality is going to change, and of course, seeing her dad supposedly back.
Something really funny about this particular asylum. Same week, we see the same Bill Beans on Supernatural.
Yeah.
Same
set.
I
was going to say that.
Just repurposed.
Yep.
And was definitely a double take because I watched Supernatural first and then I watched Legends. I was like, wait a second, that's the same thing.
Well, they all formed and filmed in Vancouver.
The only difference is Legends put a whole extra what looked like an additional staircase that branched out from the side and a big sign in front of the entrance of it. And it didn't have that stage there. It was more run down in the they had moss and ivy and stuff over the front of it. But it was
Supernatural. It was like a decrepit old house.
We know that the CW does that a lot, where they repurpose locations because if they're filming in one location, if they get the rights to film there, whatever, it's cheaper to just repurpose it for another show instead of buying a whole nother location. So
especially if the shows aren't connected.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yep.
You can suspend your disbelief.
Yeah, because if they started doing that on Flash, Arrow, Legends, then we'd be like, wait a second, what are you doing?
Something's off. This is not right.
Well, I mean, they do that
a little bit, but they do a good job of dressing it up a lot.
Yeah,
it's really hard to tell.
Yes,
it was just really interesting because you could clearly tell it was the same set of buildings, just.
And I know that building was used earlier season of American Horror Story as well.
Mm-hmm.
I do. Also, I mean, I actually liked this episode just because it showed Constantine in a way that you're like, well, he's more powerful than we think, and it's because he basically sold a school. And the fact that he has, he's like, well, this will protect, keep him there, and it didn't. He's just like, wow, I've never seen any demon like this before. And he's seen a lot of shit.
That's why I kind of think that Mollis isn't exactly a demon. He just feels like it is because of the way that Mollis is possessing Nora at this point. Where I think Mollis is just another dude from another world, because we know how the DC universes work. He's just from another universe, and he knows a way. He has that he has the power to just kind of step through and have influence on our world, and he's just
I don't
running for
know.
power.
I don't know,
Constantine's
because
pretty good with demons.
yeah,
I don't
and
think an
and
alien's gonna fool him.
no,
I'm
and
not
plus
saying
with,
it's an alien.
but as you know, when Sarah goes into the underworld or whatever it is, purgatory, or wherever she goes when she's possessed, she sees, you know, Nora there, and that's like that's where your personality kind of goes. It's that holding. It's like a holding room, basically. That's what it is.
So, I mean, typically we see demons, when we hear about demon possession, they can only possess one thing at a time.
Well, he's
Word.
a stronger demon. He didn't really possess. He was in Sarah, but he didn't like possess her. He wasn't making her drink.
They were
clean.
both possessed at different times. 2017
right.
and 1969.
Yeah.
Time. God
It
damn
was
it.
different times, technically.
Yep.
I don't like that. My brain hurts.
How could they be possessed at the same time in different times in the same place?
I do like that. I do like the fact that, she went into this underworld or whatever it is, the purgatory, and found Nora there and gave her a pep talk. And I'm wondering if all this, that them treating her like a person, like someone, like they cared about her, and well, they did, and they do, and they care about her. And I'm wondering if that's going to affect what happens in the future.
Maybe.
Because, ripple effect, butterfly effect, whatever you want to call it, and we don't know what exactly, she's going back to the asylum, we know that much. But we don't know what he has with Nurse Ratched. I don't even remember her name. All I know is she was trying to give Leo a lobotomy. As soon as, she caught him with that, she's like, prep the surgery room. I'm like, oh shit, she's giving him a lobotomy.
That was so funny.
Yep.
She just reads the thing and she's like, yep, you're crazy. Lobotomy.
And I think that's what makes her believe in the supernatural and time travel and stuff like that, because she read this note and she had them back there, and then she changed. You know what I mean?
It was like instantaneous.
At some point in time between 2017 and between 1969 and 2017, dark comes to her.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she found this note about time travel, and then a man comes who has time traveled.
Mm-hmm. So she's like, okay, wait a minute. So this shit's true, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see what happens. I mean, it's like this episode was more about setting things up and more bits, and it's like breadcrumbs. It's giving you a trail. We don't have a full picture of all. We have more questions than anything after this episode, I think.
I mean, it does kind of give you an origin of how Nora got all crazy.
Well, kind of an origin, because we don't know how much.
Yeah, we don't know how much what they did affected her, but I mean, maybe she'll be soft to them instead of just like freaking.
Well, we also know that
show crazy. Ouch.
Well, we also know that Constantine's been helping her, because she's like, I didn't think you would find me here. Find me again after they moved me. So he's been helping her for a long time, it seems. Exactly how long? Probably since her dad died. And it's been a couple years. So.
Yep.
And I mean, and I don't blame her going with her dad. I mean, hello, it's a kid. She lost her mom and her dad, and seeing him alive again, I mean, there's probably a part of her that knows that it's not, but it's dad. You know what I mean? It's no matter, it's your dad.
Yep. Do we have anything else for Legends?
That episode?
Granddaughter?
Granddaughter.
Amara's granddaughter?
Frozen woman.
Kuasa.
Kuasa, yes. I couldn't even remember her name when we were doing Vixen, so I'm like, there's no hope for me.
I almost forgot about Kuasa.
Well, and then Constantine did look at
Amaya
and goes, and they're like, different Vixen.
Same necklace, different time period. It's fine.
It's
Yeah,
like,
that was
and
enough
then
for him too.
He just accepted it. He's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But no,
Oh, you got it.
I mean, we did, yeah, her, and then finding that when, what's her name? The wind totem chick. Sorry, when she touched Nora when she was possessed, it was like throwing holy water on her.
Yeah, she called her one of the 6, which there are only 5 totems
That they know of.
and we know of.
Which ones they listed off: fire, water, air, spirit.
No, fire, water, air, earth.
There's
Earth.
there's the 4 elements in spirit.
Yeah.
And spirit. So the 6th one,
Time.
would it be time?
It's probably the compass that Dark has.
No, that was for
That's not very totem.
the compass was to find the spear.
I'm talking about the one he's using to time travel with.
Right now.
I don't know if that's a totem.
I mean, it could look like a compass, but on the inside, it has the totem on the inside
Yeah,
or
the totem
something.
could be inside the compass.
I don't know.
Because that's what he
I
used
don't-
to send Grodd back, which we still haven't seen Grodd yet.
But, and also, I mean, and her daughter, obviously Dark got to her somehow, because when Kwasa's talking to her, she's like, you were a good grandmother. My mom left me there. And she's like, she thought you died. And she's trying to come up with all the excuses why she needs to be mad.
I just want to know when Thanos is coming.
Here's the thing. No. Also,
I mean, these are pretty much the Infinity Stones.
except you're not putting them into a gauntlet. Like,
don't
they're
know that.
already their own pieces of jewelry.
We don't know what their plan is to combine
You know
them
what?
all.
You know what? Good point.
They're forming Captain Planet. Is Captain Planet a DC comic character?
I have no idea, actually. I liked everything between Amara and Zuasa.
Mm-hmm.
Is that her name right?
Kawasa.
No, it's
Kuwasa.
Amaya and Kuwasa. No,
Whatever,
Amara.
I got both of their names wrong. Fuck it. I liked all of their reactions. And then fucking what's his dumb face keeps
Nate.
trying to butt into it and puts a gun up to her, and it's like, of course she's gonna attack you. You're putting a gun in her face.
But did you hear what Amaya said? Let him go, because you need him too.
Yeah, but she did that without a gun.
I know, but that implies that if she kills Nate, she no longer exists.
That might not imply that.
So the
She
okay.
means what help me out.
Amaya.
Amaya. What Amaya?
Kuwasa.
I think what Amaya means is she needs the legends.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
I
think
don't
she's
think
trying
I
to
don't-
think too hard about what her future is.
No,
She doesn't
I
wanna
think
know.
She is. I think
She doesn't want to know.
Oh, she doesn't want to know, but she wants to know. It's like she doesn't want to actively go out and look for it, but there's a part of her that wants to know what's going to happen.
Mm.
And it's like one of those things. It's like you want to know, but you don't want to know at the same time.
On a
But
complete side note, I just looked up Captain Planet and I got excited for a second because I saw DC, but didn't realize there was an I between them. Remember the cartoon Deke?
Yes.
Yeah,
Deke.
Deke. But I thought it was DC Comics for a second, but it's Deke.
I just want to point out the first time we met Kuwasa, she went all water inside of Ray. And when she got out of him, he's like, "Oh, she tasted salty." So I was kind of expecting the same comment from Nate.
It went up his nose though, like.
And down his throat, and he was even if it went down his nose, it's still passing past.
he did cough some. He did cough some of her up.
Yes. So
That
I was
sounds really
kind of
bad.
like I was like expecting her to be like, "Oh, she tastes salty or something."
She's a salty woman.
She is pretty freaking salty.
I know, and I want to know what exactly. Obviously, Dark promised her something because she was there to stop them from trying to stop Mouse from taking over Nora.
Mhm.
So, yeah. he obviously probably promised to take her back in time to save the village or something.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I think Malice needs Nora possessed so he could use her later.
Well, yeah.
Probably.
I mean, we've seen that she.
And he even
is
says,
possessed
like,
by him.
the power that he gives you, you felt it.
Hmm.
So
Yep.
he wants her to be powerful so that he can use her.
Yep.
Of course, he loves his daughter, but, you know, he also loves power a lot.
Yeah.
I think he likes power just a little
And
bit more.
if his daughter is power, then he doesn't have to choose.
Exactly.
So, yep. But then on Arrow, we had the Devil's Greatest Trick. I actually really like this episode. This
It's very interesting.
This is probably my favorite episode of the season. We have Caden James with the bomb, and he tells Ollie the bomb's going off at midnight. Your time's run out. We're done ransoming the city. We're done with all this stuff. And then, what's her name? Elena, I think. Elena, the girl that was working with Felicity, the Helix girl.
Oh, I can't remember her name. I just
think
call her
it's
Mrs. Bitchface.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
Elena. Her and Felicity finally cracked the encoding that was over the video, and we find out that the person that Oliver was supposed to be and it ended up being an assassin. I believe that Ollie had killed already.
No, they just said he's already dead because they killed him. They knew he's an
Yeah,
assassin.
but he shared like a look with Felicity when he goes, he's already dead. I thought that was kind of implying that Ollie killed him.
No, it's just because he's a hired assassin to kill a high target, and instead of letting him go and possibly be spill the beans, they kill the assassin, just so there's no one to tell who killed who.
Yeah, I don't know.
They knew. It's a trick. It's a trick of the trade that people do that. Usually, if you're a hired assassin, depending on who you get hired by, they will kill you after you're done killing who they want, just so there's no loose ends.
Yeah. But so they revealed it and they showed the footage to Caden James. Like he was fleeing the city, and Ollie's like, "We'll never catch him." Or Diggle goes, "We'll never catch him in time," and Ollie goes, "Oh no, I know a way." And all of a sudden, Barry comes running out of nowhere, scoops up Ollie and Diggle, and drops him off in front of the limo. I was waiting for Diggle to puke, but he didn't.
I was gonna say,
He did
Diggle puke.
stammer. He did stammer. He was like,
Yeah, I was
like,
waiting for it.
shit.
And then they show Caden James the footage, and he checks the metadata of the file and realizes that someone on his team encrypted, because it's the same person who released the photo of Ollie as with his mask off, saying that he's the Green Arrow. And that's the one that started this whole, Oliver is the Green Arrow campaign with the FBI and everything, trying to expose him. So with that, Caden James works with, I'm using quotation fingers here, works with Ollie to collect the members of his team, Diaz, Laurel, and Anatoly, so he could confront them and find out which one of his team members it was. And Laurel says it's her.
Yeah, right. But what I thought was funny is that he left them in a bunker. He's like, I'll have an airlift come get you. He was gonna let them there to die.
Oh yeah, Anatoly, Diaz, and Laurel. Earth 2, left to die.
And they're like, yeah, we're not staying here. And so they left. But yeah, it's like when Laurel tried to confess, I'm like, no, you're not. Sorry, you're not that smart.
No. And then meanwhile, you have Dinah with a vendetta for killing her lover/partner. Wants Laurel dead. She's going like rogue, trying to assassinate Laurel this whole episode.
She's not thinking she's thinking with her heart, not her head.
Yeah.
She's thinking with her emotions right now, and it's going to get her in trouble. And whether, I mean, and of course, Diggle and Ollie see it. Even Felicity sees it because, they've seen it before. Because it's happened to them before. But her team doesn't seem to really give two flying fucks. They really don't.
They're just, we're away from Ollie, we're separate, and that's all we want to be.
And we'll let her do what she wants to do, kind of thing. We're going to let her do what she needs to do. It's like, that's not being a team.
Yeah.
Because they're like, I mean, when they left, Ollie's like, keep an eye on her, or keep her under control, kind of thing. And Road Dogg was like, we ain't doing anything like that. And then Curtis was like, well, it's not working, so. Like, they don't even care. It's like, they're not even going to try. And it's like, oh my God, you guys need to at least try.
And then Cleo, you know how you always say Ollie makes bad decisions?
Mm-hmm.
Runs in the family. William made the worst decision ever.
Awesome.
Ollie brings him to the Arrow Cave to protect him from the bomb blast that's going to go off, saying it's the only, place, whatever. And William overhears where they're bringing
all three.
The three of them into custody, and where Ollie's meeting with Caden James, grabs his flash backpack and sneaks out and goes there.
While everyone is on the phone calling everyone.
Yeah.
He just leaves.
He's just because he doesn't want Ollie to die, so he's gonna go there and die with him, basically.
But we did get a little background on Caden James and why he was so amped to get revenge for his son's death, and then why.
Yeah, the flashbacks this episode were all centric to Caden James.
Yes.
Okay.
His ex-wife has a new husband, and basically they raised his son, and they know that Caden James did like hacking. He's a hacker.
Hacktivist.
A hacktivist, whatever. But he never told his son or anyone what exactly he does, which is, he's trying to protect them, which is all good. He had totally good intentions. He wasn't crazy at this time.
It kind of reminds me of Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger trying to be there for his son all the time, but just always gets busy and caught up and never gets to be there for him.
That's kind of what it was like. It was like things came up, and and his son was 18 and played basketball for the college and missed his, was in the championships and also, not going to his games kind of thing. And his son being disappointed in him, and he's like, why should I let you into my life when you won't let me into yours? And, typical, father-son things when you don't pay attention to your kid. But what I think broke Caden James and made him as crazy as he is and as off the chain was when they arrested him while he was watching his son's basketball game.
Oof.
He's watching it from the window outside like he was going to go in.
Yeah.
And they arrested him. He's like, look, I will go with you in peace. Can you just take me after the game? And they're like, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah. No, they took him. And then they had him, and then it shows in the crate, and they open up the crate, and he takes the hood. He goes, if you're trying to get, it's not going to work. I'm not giving you any kind of information. He goes, nope. Totally stonewall face, no emotion, anything. This guy comes up and just tells him, yeah, your son's dead, and walks by and goes, I'm sorry for your loss, and walks out and leaves him in this dark, dingy
It's the same
crate.
It's the same shipping container that we saw him in last season.
Yeah.
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 They left him in there. Your kid died. Bye. I left him in there by himself in the dark.
He had all this time, to plot everything that's been going on this season, sitting in that shipping container. So.
And I like that, and that's kind of the thing I want from just, I don't mean to bring up Marvel, but what's his face? Zemo from is that Ultron? Or no, that was from Civil War. He's just sitting there in a cell thinking.
Yeah. So, when it catches back up or whatever, and we have this big brawl go on when Laurel, her sonic collar, gets the remote for the bomb interfered with her the signal in her collar, so it allowed Laurel's collar to come off, and she got the sonic scream and wipe out everybody and threw them all around the room. Caden James drops the bomb device or whatever. William tries to get it. Him and Caden are about to like have a wrestling match over it. Ollie pretty much shoots the detonator out of his hand and takes him into custody. And Oliver goes to see him in custody as Oliver and says that Caden says, thank you for stopping me, putting an end to all this. My son would have been very disappointed in me. I just wanted to be with him, kind of deal, all this stuff. And he gives him all the money back that Oliver was sending him, to hold the ransom, all the ransom money. He gives him the bank account information, all that stuff where it's stored. Gives him the list of all the contacts that he's been in touch with, and says, can you just do one thing for me? Can you allow me to visit my son's grave? And Ollie's like, yeah, I could do that. Totally make that happen. So
yeah, and when everyone got tossed, everyone went different ways. So Diaz booked it out of there. He totally disappeared. We don't know what happened to Anatoly. He disappeared too.
He's Anatoly.
Yeah, and
yeah,
Dinah caught up with Laurel in the alley, and they had a big old screaming fight. Because they did.
Well, I mean, Dinah didn't scream once, I don't think.
I don't remember, but yeah, they had a big fight, big cat fight.
Yeah.
But they're birds.
But they're birds. They, at the end, then Lance comes out. He comes out and was like, don't do this. Don't hurt Laurel, basically. And she's like, that's not your daughter. And she takes his gun and shoots. And right when she shoots, right when Dinah shoots the gun at Laurel, Laurel does a scream and knocks her back onto a car and knocks Lance back too. When Lance gets up, Laurel's hit in the side. She got shot.
She's shot in like the sternum, like just under the ribs, just above the stomach.
Yeah, right here in the side, kind of. And
yeah.
And everyone thinks she got away. Even Dinah thinks she got away because she was out. But Lance has her in the car, handcuffed to the car.
He's got her like chained in the back of a car like this.
Well, it's how her arms are down. But,
yeah.
He has her chained into a car, and we don't know what he has this crazy look in his face.
Oh, they're going on a road trip.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But Lance looks like a crazy man right now.
Yeah.
The way he looked, I was just like, I understand what you see in her is you see your daughter, but, and she's just like, well, she did tell him the reason why, she told him all this crap, like, it made me sick when you showed me all the pictures of her, blah, blah. And she's just like, I don't want to enjoy killing you.
Yeah.
That's what she told Lance.
Yeah. And Lance said, Caden said that, Laurel couldn't possibly have been behind the cover up, his son's death and all that, because he saw Laurel hesitate before she killed Dinah's partner.
Yeah.
And Vigilante. And then Lance is like, no, I saw that hesitation, so there is part of you. Part of you is my Laurel. And, then they go on this,
then they're
crazy
gone.
road trip together.
We don't know what happens.
Yeah.
But she's locked up in a car.
And then, now I know Cleo's been really worried about, like, this whole thing with Caden's son, it's so similar to last season on Arrow and all this. And this is where the twist comes in, because...
Was I?
You were like, that's what you said. You said it was all the same as last season. It's just...
I really don't remember.
Ollie with his son, Ollie being framed for his son again. That was your biggest gripe this whole season that you were complaining about. That it was a rehash of last season.
Mm-hmm.
And so we see Caden in custody, and then all of a sudden he notices the camera shuts off in the room that he's in.
It's like an interrogation room.
Yeah. And then in walks Diaz.
Yes.
Diaz is Olivia's partner from Fringe. Remember I mentioned that?
Yes.
So Diaz comes in, approaches Caden, and he said he is the one that is responsible for the death of Caden's son.
He's like people like you think you're above, that you're smarter than everyone else. And until a point, yeah, he's right.
he masterminded this whole thing to use Caden to threaten the city and blow it up, and do all this stuff. And he said I don't understand why people like you want to destroy the city when with, the whole team with Ollie, everybody running around now, and everybody's fractured, everything's in chaos. He goes, perfect time for someone to come in and take over. So he said that the new police captain is on Diaz's payroll. So
and a couple other police officers and stuff.
Yep. So just before Diaz leaves, he kills Caden James.
Knife to the throat, right here.
Oh, okay. So he's dead. There's no way that he can't be dead.
We don't know. We saw him on the table, his head on the table. You still see his back moving up and down. We don't know. That's where it left off.
Yeah, Caden James is dead, but we did see also in a lot of the flashbacks while Caden James was working at Helix, the girl, I'm pretty sure her name is Elena, that they work together a lot. So that
was the first day.
Yeah.
Wait, that was just really weird. It's like her first week was that week that he got
arrested.
He got arrested.
So I almost feel like there's a possibility that she was doing stuff for him.
I had that feeling that it was something with her. I don't know. I have a feeling that she's working with Diaz.
Yeah. It's
I've always had a bad feeling about her anyways. So.
Yeah, I've always had a bad feeling about her. So. But yeah, it should be interesting. I don't know, this is definitely my favorite episode of the season.
Yeah, and William, I understand why he didn't. They had a long talk about,
he just
everything.
didn't want to be orphaned again, like on that island, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I almost want through my head. I almost want Ollie. I mean, to have the bonding father-son bonding. I want Ollie to maybe train him, to teach him how to defend himself when he gets.
I definitely think that's coming.
In situations, because with him being the Arrow and some people knowing who he is and trying to get to him, there is a possibility of him getting kidnapped again.
There's a lot of foreshadowing going on. Like the week before, we saw him and Ollie, playing with the Nerf arrows, and this episode, William sitting in the Arrow Cave, twirling one of Ollie's arrows, and Speedy just walks in and takes that away from him and goes, "No, you can't play with that.
Don't play with that." But yeah, I want him. I want that.
They're just doing a lot of foreshadowing.
Yeah, I want to see that. I want to see him, not really training him, but maybe showing him how to defend himself.
Yeah.
And that would give them a lot of father-son time too. So.
Yep.
It'd be very interesting.
So that's pretty much it in the world of Arrow. What's been going on in the world of Black Lightning?
Fashion montage. Everybody loves a montage,
that's
right?
Right. Yeah. I need a second to get the names.
Oh, okay.
Right. The oldest daughters.
Anissa.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Are you a names?
I thought I was the one that couldn't get names.
It's never been as bad as it's been with all of these DC shows. I don't know why. I'm having... Actually, it happened with Black Panther. It's taken me a long time to get, everyone's names right.
Yeah, all the new stuff.
Anissa goes to find her superhero outfit.
Well, she wanted her black hoodie, which her sister was wearing. She's like, "Frag." So then she goes...
Luke Cage again.
Yeah, she wanted to be Luke Cage again. And then, then she goes to her closet. She takes out that costume she was wearing at that cosplay party, and she was like, whatevs, I'm gonna put this on. And then she's doing like some high kicks.
Yeah.
And then it rips. And she's like, shit, all of this ass. I need something better than, I have to find something that fits it. Fits her ass.
I don't know what store she went to that has that much like
Latex.
lycra and latex and crazy fabrics, but I want to go there.
I thought she was in like a Victoria's Secret or something, because all I was seeing was lingerie at first, and I'm like,
yeah, there was a lot of lingerie.
why are you you can't be a superhero in lingerie, sweetheart. That just no.
Well, you see, she went for the superhero outfits and got distracted by the underwear. It happens.
I guess. Yeah, I guess that happens. I mean,
but she makes a new friend, and he helps her get her superhero costume, which
it's her Gambi.
Yeah, and I think he was joking. He was like, "You'll be the most badass superhero on the block," and she's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be."
Mm-hmm. To be fair, it wasn't a bad get-up.
It was awesome.
It was great. I mean, the boots might have been a little over the top, but they still work.
It's like this bright blue with like these purples and yellow and gold. It's so good. So good.
Yeah, it was really cool. And the fact that she's now really getting into like how she's using her powers, like I'm sure she's going to get past the point where she has to focus on her breathing before she can actually like do whatever she needs to do, like break a lock, use that superpower, that super strength. But it's good that you see her kind of like mantraing before she does anything. Like she's really thinking about what she's doing before she does it.
Yeah.
And I feel like she was this close this episode to being like, Dad, guess what? I'm a superhero.
She didn't really interact with her dad that much this episode.
There was that one point where he's like, she walks in and he goes, hey, what's up? She's like, she went in there to talk to him about something, and then she's like, oh, nothing. And then she just kind of like goes off on her way. So there was a point where she was going to say something to him, maybe ask him a question, but she decided to not, because he kind of like intuitively was like, there's something up.
I must have missed that scene. I don't remember that one.
I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, so basically, and this is the reason she gets her superhero getup, is she's following the trail her grandfather left. Her grandfather was a reporter, I'm pretty sure it's Jefferson's dad.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a bunch of unpublished stories about missing children and this vaccine that might have given them superpowers. And it seems to be the lead up into the answer to how this family is a bunch of metas.
Yeah. And probably how Tobias got his super strength as well.
Yes. Because I'm pretty sure that vial she finds has to do with what we learned about him this episode.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And so I was kind of on the right track when I said there was like an Alex Mack accident when I mentioned that last episode. And if you don't know who Alex Mack is, she was it was a nice
GC161. How do I know that?
Because you loved the show, and it was a 90s child-friendly show about a girl who just happens to get into an accident with some chemical and has a superpower. Which is kind of the same line as this is going. That's why I brought in Jessica Jones last episode when we talked about it and all that stuff. Because it's
legit.
No, not just
GC161. I just Googled it.
What?
But yeah.
I was right. Chemical GC161.
Oh.
I had to make sure, and I was right.
I didn't even remember that.
Wow. I haven't watched Alex Mack since the 90s.
Yeah.
That's
I don't think anyone has.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's not shade on
Never
Alex
watched
Mack.
it.
That's just a fact.
No, I know. It's just I don't think it's ever re-aired.
No,
Yeah.
it hasn't. No. But yeah, Tobias, I believe that vial has a lot to do with him.
Yeah.
And he's also getting a lot of flack from Lady Eve. Like, she sent him a packet full of bone dust.
Yes! Yes! I'm wondering if she went out and actually killed an albino person and
or just acquired some and was like, here you go. Like, but no, I mean, we don't know if it's albino dust because all bone dust looks the same.
It's true.
So, I mean, she could have just been like, yo, this is kind of a threat. You need to stay in line. Because he clearly doesn't want to stay in line. He feels like he can be doing so much more.
He wants his status back because we found out that he used to be
a councilman.
bigger player than he is now.
Yeah. So like I feel like he was in a good standing. I'm going to put quotations around good because he's not exactly a good guy, but he was a good standing councilman. Like, you know, he was out there with the public and he was doing things for Freeland.
Oh, no, I got the impression that he was on the council of the underground, the crime council.
I feel like he was more or less in a public view doing community things, but in the background he had a lot more power in the underground because of his status politically in the public. And after all this bullshit happened with Black Lightning, they just punched him down to the bottom and gave him, like he said, I'm babysitting the 100 and I don't want to be because I can do so much more. So his sister's fucking nuts though. Like she's crazy. I love her.
Yeah.
We did get some backstory about Tobias too, and how shitty his dad was to him.
Yes, his dad was not so accepting of him.
No, didn't like how he was different, and because his sister she got beat up for trying to stand up for Tobias at that age when they were younger. So
yeah, it was we can't really speak to it but it seemed like the dad didn't really care too much about the kids.
No, I think they came to the conclusion, Tobias came to the conclusion, yeah, you did feed us and put a roof over our head and clothed us. But you know what?
The point?
Yeah, you're still a dickhole, so...
You should have left. Yeah.
Did he hug him to death?
He did! He gave him a hug and then he broke his back.
Yeah. That's a big old bear hug for you.
We also get Tobias this episode go and talk to Gamby.
Yeah.
Who was not at all surprised to see him still alive.
Well, I mean... You mean Gamby wasn't surprised to see Tobias alive? No, because...
Yes.
Yeah, they... because of all the crap the last couple episodes, because Jefferson finding out about Tobias, Gamby and him figured it out together. So it's been a few episodes that Gamby's known about Tobias. It's just the fact that Tobias came to his front door.
Yeah. And then Gamby, in a few scenes later, turns around to Jefferson and lies to his face, says Tobias could still be alive. Like Tobias didn't just show up at his door the night before. Yeah. Gamby's hiding something.
He is kind of shifty.
Yeah.
I mean, he has all this tech and stuff for Jefferson, but he also has his own stash of shit.
Yeah.
So I feel like he has ties in the underworld too. Or the underground.
Yeah.
Not the underworld, the underground.
Jefferson's like, aren't you supposed to have your finger on the pulse of this city? Why do you not know Joey Toledo is still alive? Which somebody help me out because that name sounds so familiar.
Joey Toledo?
Joey Toledo!
That does sound kind of familiar.
I don't know why that sounds so familiar.
No. I to me that's just another name. A character that isn't going to last in this series.
You know what? To be quite honest, it probably only sounds familiar because John sometimes will throw out very generic Italian names in that accent. Joey Toledo just sounds like it fits.
The only thing that I see about Joey Toledo is in the DC comics. He was Earth 1 era publication drug dealer during the Crisis on Infinite Earths timeline. So
then I probably read about him.
Yeah.
But that's like a super Italian name.
Kinda. I mean, I've heard people like exclaim "Holy Toledo" before. So
you
that's
know
the
what?
only
Yeah.
that's the only way that I'm connecting it to anything right now. So
Man, Jefferson's going a little
I
rogue.
like I don't know if it's I feel like we were talking about that. Is it possibly like his powers are possibly an addiction? But I don't think it is like that. I think it's almost a whole nother entity. And there's the Black Lightning part of him, and there's the Jefferson part of him. And the Black Lightning part of him is actually trying to take control because he seems like a completely different person right now when he is Black Lightning. And like Gamby said, he's being aggressive and all these other things, and it's just I don't know.
And I mean, before Jefferson goes out that last time, Gamby does say, I figured it out. It's the power converter. That's what's making you sick. I need to fix it. And I think honestly what it is not that being Black Lightning is an addiction. I think the way the suit channels his powers is adversely affecting him. And I do think if Gamby fixes it, he'll be better for it. But
yeah,
we're still like, as an audience, learning about how Jefferson's powers work still.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I just love that Red Bandit in chat says, unlike Oliver, Jefferson is probably the best parent out of all of these shows. Not only is he fair, but he doesn't let his kids walk all over him, and he knows how to discipline them.
Yes.
Yes. Very true.
I'm gonna say maybe Joe is up there as well.
Joe's up there.
Joe's a very good father.
He's been letting Barry get a little out of hand.
He's done some things I do not approve of, but I think the only point here where Jefferson
the best to Wally at the beginning.
Yeah, he also didn't know he had a son for like 22 years. So
I know, but he didn't handle that very well when he did.
No. Yeah.
So I wouldn't exactly call Joe Father of the Year.
No.
Well, we weren't. We were just saying he's one of the better ones.
Up there. But the one thing that I think is holding Jefferson back in terms of being the best father is how he's telling... I was going to call her Tiffany. That's not her name. Jennifer?
Mm-hmm.
How he's telling Jennifer, the thing to do is to not fight, walk away, be the better person. And then he's like doing the exact opposite. And he goes out and beats the shit out of Joey Toledo. Yeah. Like no words, just starts kicking the shit out of this dude. Which, Joey Toledo does look like a scumbag, but maybe a little less aggro, please.
That's true. I mean, to be fair though, like the whole situation with Jennifer this episode was that she defended herself very fucking well, might I add. And she gets a lot of flack for it because she breaks the girl's wrist.
And I mean, she did it without throwing a single punch. She dodged and she caught the girl's arm and put her in a hold. The one step too far she took is that she took her arm and went and broke her wrist. So
Oops.
One step too far, but
Oops.
Now is this just her knowing defense very, very well because of who she is and like what she's done in school and like she's athletic, or is this her instincts and her powers starting to come out as well?
Well, they did hint at the fact that Jefferson taught her how to fight.
Okay.
Taught her self-defense. Because she's like, I'm just doing what you taught me how to defend myself. And then Jefferson looked really proud. And the ex-wife was like, no, do not encourage that.
Oh, man. That lady, she's up and down for me, whether I like her or not. Because when she's dealing with Jefferson, like, this episode, and she's like, oh, like, she's being very doctor because she's a doctor. She's like, oh, we gotta fix you. You're sick. You need to calm down. We need to do this. And then when the kids come in, he's trying to discipline them. She's like, eh. and overthrows him, and then the girls just walk away.
This time it was the opposite.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, they were kind of on the same level, Jefferson and his ex, but like, she's still calling a lot of shots after just coming back into the picture, it seems like. And I know that's because Jefferson really, really wants her back, but at the same time, I'm like, he needs to back off.
Yeah. And even she is like, my priority is what's important to me, and that's you. And then I was expecting her to go, because of the girls, like, you know, we need to be here for the girl, but it was just, you're important to me, and I was like, that's dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, they're them getting closer is complicated.
Yeah, I'm not sure I like it.
I just don't want it to like implode, because the reason she left him in the first place was because he was Black Lightning, and he is not gonna stop being Black Lightning.
Definitely not gonna stop now. He stopped before, and she left him anyways.
Exactly, yeah.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Nope.
I mean, this episode, in comparison to, we got a lot of juicy bits this episode in comparison to, like, say, last episode. So it was, I really liked it, because I always like to know more about what we're watching, because obviously this is a new series. We need to know more. We're still asking so many questions.
That looks like an unhappy kitty. Unhand me, woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, jumped up here.
They're doing a good. They're doing a good job in the show of revealing what's going on. They're doing it at a great pace. I think they're doing very well. I'm trying to think if we missed anything. I'm really nervous that Gamby's what else is he hiding? Like, I feel like he knows a lot more. And when Jefferson finds out that he lied to him, that Tobias came to see him, and then he said, I don't know if he's alive or not. It's like, you do, because he was literally in your shop. So that's going to be bad.
Oh, Jefferson's not going to like that. He's just, poof. He's going to get so mad. Hopefully Gamby fix the power converter thing before that happens.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the last shot is Jefferson was it raining? I can't even remember. Was it raining? He was just like on the floor, writhing on the floor after fighting Toledo, because he like has another episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they started as headaches, and then in Gamby's office, lightning cave, I don't know, he just literally shuts down.
Yeah, it seemed like he was like in like a mini coma, and then the lightning came back up and like shocked him in the brain, and he was like, whoa, where am I?
Yeah.
Lightning cave?
I don't know, man.
That sounds like the worst cave to enter ever. Like, you just walk in and get electrocuted.
It's like
the Gamby
cave. It's like that one area in Final Fantasy.
Which one?
I think it's 10. Final Fantasy 10. It's just, you're in a gray sandy desert, and all there is lightning all over the place, and you're like dodging it while you're walking and stuff.
I think I vaguely remember that. Been a long time since I played it.
Anyways, I think I like the Gamby cave better.
The Gamby cave.
It feels like you have to go in there with a deck of cards and some money.
But yeah, that was very interesting how the lightning like came up into his face and then he wakes up. I definitely think that the suit was working against his natural lightning.
Like it's fucking up with this current or something?
Yeah. Yeah. His chakras are out of alignment. I don't know.
His chakras.
Yeah. I have only a cursory knowledge of chakras. Do not take anything I say as any sort of knowledge.
You said chakras, as in, the actual term, and I said chakras, as in.
Ah! I'll show myself out. I totally did not get your pun. I'm sorry.
I think we're done with the lightning now.
That's it. Moving on.
You sure you don't want to relive the podcast over and over again?
No. God, please, no. Don't want to relive any podcast.
So moving on to week 15.
Which is only Legends.
Which is only Legends. Everything else is gone on break because of the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I loved this episode of Legends.
I had to watch it twice.
You found yourself in a loop.
It was because...
You sure you didn't watch it like 20 times?
No, I only watched it twice. I'm very, very sure. And it was only just so that I wouldn't nod off the second time around.
It would have been really funny if the CW pranked us and just aired the episode like 10 times in a row that day.
Oh god, that would have been really funny.
Wait a minute.
I don't watch live TV anymore, so I would have missed that.
Yeah, no, I know.
That would have been very funny.
I would have loved it because it would have been like this perfect joke to fill in over, Olympic scheduling and stuff like that. And just keep re-airing it.
Yeah.
I
have to say, I love time loop episodes.
Mm-hmm.
They did one in the first season of Star Trek Discovery, and that I think was my favorite episode.
Yep.
Of the season. So it.
I mean, they did mention Star Trek, but I think it was Next Gen.
It was an old episode of Star Trek, which I thought was very funny.
There's a lot of different references. I mean, of course, there are reference to ABBA like throughout the whole entire.
Oh God, yes, Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia, here we go again. Yeah, I mean. And then their outfits. They're like, "Why didn't you two come in on your part, you idiot?" I would have liked to know what they were doing before.
What their mission was.
Yeah, we totally weren't boning. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
And we found out they've been erasing their own memories. Like, how long has that been going on?
Oh, they probably do it. They probably do it after every mission.
They're gonna get brain damage. I can't.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I like the fact that it focused on her because we've never gotten a lot on her. You know what I mean? And she always felt like that she was just there. She never really.
She kind of has been just there.
Yeah.
And that's how she herself has
drawn
felt.
in. Yeah, because she put herself there. She didn't want to be. I think it's just because she doesn't want to get close to people and lose them again.
Yeah.
She's had that so much, and
sense.
plus, she lived in the future, and all things were kind of crazy. So, her actually doing this, actually going through this, and then her speech at the end to everyone was just like.
Rachel's microphone seems really messed up to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
All of a
sorry,
sudden
I
you
can't
went
really hear
chipmunk.
you.
Yeah, your voice went chipmunk.
I just loved her going through everything over and over, and it's like, watch out, Ray, you're gonna trip.
And that one
He
time she
trips.
caught him all like suave, and
Yeah,
everything.
like catching the princess or some shit. That was awesome.
Sarah's look was like, what the actual fuck is going
Yeah.
on? Actually, she did a lot of that weird look shit.
Yeah.
She was just like, I don't even know.
Like, no, Sarah, shut up. Sarah was just like, excuse me. Yeah. Can we talk about Mick's book and how badly I want to read it?
I don't know if
is it?
my mic is
Yeah.
better. I don't know.
Yeah, it
Is
is.
it? I want them to release it.
Right?
I think that'd be an awesome, like, even like, you know, like how they did with like once upon a time they released like, you know, graphic novels to go with the.
Something
I
short.
want them to release this.
Here's the thing. That's not my genre. I do not like that genre. But
What kind of genre was it? Was it erotica?
Well, no, it's a romance novel, which can technically be considered erotica because romance novels are trashy as shit.
It's a fantasy. It's a fantasy erotica novel.
Yeah, sci-fi. Yeah, sci-fi fantasy
Sci-fi,
erotica novel. Yeah,
fantasy. Yeah.
Okay.
But the genre is it's a romance novel. And I had, you know what's really funny? Because they read the little excerpts, and I'm like, yeah, I've read that book before. Because they're all the fucking same.
Yeah, pretty much.
So that was.
I love the lengths
hilarious.
that he went to booby trap that.
Yes.
He had
like
the bear trap.
The electrocution.
I like how Nate was the dumb one that fell into all of the traps.
Yeah.
I do like he was the one that was like, just say Groundhog's Day, and she was like Hedgehog.
Hedgehog's Day.
Too funny. You told me to say Hedgehog Day, and you'd understand.
Oh,
he's like
Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day.
Time.
Yeah,
Time.
and like he was like the only one to actually help her, which I thought was kind of cool because you never seen her bond with anyone, and then she's like, yeah,
no big deal.
I like how after like it must have been like the 200th time of going through this loop, she's like, "Fuck it, let's go eat whipped cream." They're like,
the fun montage.
Well, Nate brought it up. He goes, "Well, if you're stuck in it, why don't you have gone and had fun and stuff?"
There are no consequences. As soon as she heard no consequences, she was just like,
"Oh,
it's a fire gun. I would have set everything on fire."
Excuse you.
She's just shoving everything in her face that she could possibly eat, and just. But then when she came back to him, she was just like, "He's like, have you done? Yeah, I've done the fun one. I'm just tired."
The only thing I hated about this episode was during the fun montage, she had to take out Hawkgirl's helmet.
Yeah, that was cool. I also was thinking, why do they still have that?
No, because it reminded me of Hawk Douche all over again, and I want no part of that. Like,
I miss them.
I don't.
I want to know when they are bringing Thanagar.
I want them to go back in time and erase them from ever being on the show in the first place.
Shut up.
I mean, Hawkgirl was fine. They could have kept Mr.
It was the
Douchebag
guy.
out.
I'm just waiting for one of the anachronisms to be Vandal Savage.
Shut your mouth. Just shut it.
Hey, you guys want Hawk people back? That's how you do it.
I didn't say I wanted them back.
You can bring them back in 1,000 ways that do not involve Vandal.
It would work best with Vandal.
But I actually, you know, it was a really unique way to bring the team together.
Yeah.
It was different. And I've never seen any other, you know, show do this before. It
was really just Zari bonding with them. Like, wait, she had never bonded with them. Like, at the end, all of the bonding she did was all in her head.
Mm-hmm.
And even though she knew things about them, they had no recollection. So they don't have the same connection with her as she does with them.
She never wanted to get to know them. And so by forcing her to get to know them, she got to know them as people and not just as, I'm just here with these bunch of randos. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing was, when it was all starting in the time loop and the explosion, it just kept going on over and over and over again. I instantly gut reaction went, she's in her own computer program. You know, like the one that failed or whatever. I thought of that right off the bat. The part where they trick me is where Red Bandit in chat says, my favorite part of this episode was Gary. When Gary was in the time dumpster
Trash
thing,
compactor.
the trash
The trash
compactor,
compactor.
Time
Oh my
dumpster.
time dumpster, whatever.
I mean, yeah.
When he was in there, and then Mick grabbed the thing and destroyed it, and he was like, "Oh, I'm the reason why this thing you just destroyed is the reason why this has been happening." I was like, "Oh, okay, so they're not in the simulation. That's where they got me."
Jesus. Oh my god, oh, Bob! Dude!
Yeah,
I
Mick. I
love
don't
Mick.
know what your logic is. Let's smash a bomb. Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, I just love the little references. I mean, I'm sure all of us have grown up with like a family member that loved ABBA. So
I love ABBA.
Yeah. And I love that when they came back, Mick came back from Waterloo with the 8-track of Waterloo.
oh my god. That was so funny.
And that was the last place they did check.
Yeah.
And he smashed that one too. He came back from Waterloo with the 8-track of Waterloo.
He
How
just
is he
likes
gonna play
smashing
that?
things. I mean, their ship has.
I'm pretty
thing
sure he
that-
took it just to destroy it.
Yeah, there's probably that too.
I like the way that the more she did it, and the more she, told them what's going to happen. You were like, how does she know this shit?
Yeah. Just having Gideon back in human form was fantastic, because I think this is the second time that we've seen her now.
It is the second time.
Um,
First time she got down and dirty with Rip.
yeah. And I know
No.
in the premiere of this season, there was a photograph of her.
Yeah.
I remember seeing, but this is only the second time we've actually hit her physically. And I loved it. I want more physical form Gideon. I think she's
She was
fantastic.
so sassy, and
She's sassy.
I thought it'd be funny.
I love her. She's like, you're evil.
Why
evil.
put Gary in the trash compactor?
It was fun.
That'd be
I
funny.
thought it was funny.
It
And
was.
the fact that Gideon denied ever doing that to Zari was funny too.
hmm
She's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
But then, when she's like, okay, well, Ray, what did Constantine tell you about that?
Yeah, I forgot
he's
that.
like,
Constance
How did
said
you
that.
know?
How did you know? I did
Yeah.
also notice in this season, the actor who plays Ray, he's let Ray grow.
Yeah, he's got gray hair growing on the
Go
sides.
right here.
It's more that he's letting his hair grow out. He's growing
I
it
know,
long.
right?
When we saw him, it was all short. It was like a buzz
Yeah,
thing
I-
going.
long. I'm like, dude, your hair. He has those hairs that the longer it gets, the fluffy. It's oh,
Yeah.
there's no.
I mean, even though he lives on a time ship, it feels like he doesn't have time to focus on his hair.
La 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 la.
He doesn't have time to dye it just then.
He has to go back to 2017 and go find his hairdresser.
Hey, dude, it's doing it for me. I like the hair.
I do. I like it too. I like.
I just noticed that. I was like, wait a minute, he's letting gray. He's letting his gray. I wonder if he's gonna let it like completely, or what if that is even like a part or something of the season. Because usually they won't let a actor change their appearance that radically, or some style, or I know they had like when the show Felicity a long time ago had long curly hair. On the off season, she decided to cut it short. I mean, like there was a
Yeah. Your mic's starting to cut out again. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No.
Tell me more.
I don't know. Maybe maybe he's got something else lined up that he's doing on the side that he needs to grow his hair
maybe.
out for.
he has a side job.
Because I
He's
know
playing Superman again.
because I know on
Oh my god!
I know on Once Upon a Time we dealt with that when the Robert Carlyle cut his hair. And it was just like a quick one-off line that they addressed it with, but he did that because he was taking a role in a film or something.
Yeah.
So they had to kind of work it in.
Yeah.
But it's something that the studios have to be like, okay, you kind of have to pass it through them first. Almost kind of, It's ridiculous, but that's how it is in Hollywood.
Yeah, CW doesn't really seem to care about that kind of stuff. So, I don't know. I wonder if Sarah is gonna hook up with what's her face?
Ava. I mean,
it seems like she's gonna take it slow if she does.
Yeah, it's not like she's not interested, but it seems like she wants a friendship first before like an intimate relationship.
Well, I think she doesn't want a fling. She wants an actual relationship, and that's why she's slow to start. She doesn't want to dive into something and fuck it up.
Yeah.
It's completely like, I mean, Ray and Zari saw when they were mini in the jump ship, watching the call with Ava, and she is into Sarah so hard, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, and Sarah's just doing a crossword, like,
yeah,
small talk and just casual. I think she just wants to work into the slow, if she even wants that kind of relationship with Ava.
Yeah.
I think, she mentioned that all her other relationships didn't end so well. And I think it's also nice for her to talk to someone else that's outside of the group, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Be able to talk to someone that's outside about what's going on in her life. So, yeah, I mean, she not only does she probably like her, she does like her, but having that friend connection is probably what she's after, too.
I mean, she does consult with Ava a lot too on like missions and like just crew stuff too. So it's being a captain, having this leadership role is still very new to Sarah. There's still things she needs to get a hold of and like get the hang of. And so Ava being kind of in a leadership role as where she is in the Time Bureau. That's right? It's Time Bureau. Why do I think that's from a different show? Anyways, she's kind of got that leadership role over there, so she kind of knows how to react to certain things, and having those, she's got all those extra resources for Sarah to dip into too. So I think it's a good thing that she's talking to her.
Yeah.
It's like she's bouncing ideas and stuff off of her, which is a good thing. And it's kind of a release. It's kind of just, she's able to sit back and relax and be herself and stuff. So it's good for her. It's good to have that release. It's good to have that.
Yep.
Otherwise, it just can get really bad.
And then the end of the episode, we saw Rip Hunter.
And Wally West.
Did he have a bun?
He had
Wally had a bun.
Yep.
What do you want? He's meditating.
He's doing a monk thing.
Yeah.
He's letting everything grow out.
I absolutely approve.
I remember your brother had a nice bun going on, and then he shaved it all off, and it was like a total shock for like almost a whole year. And I was like, ugh, I can't.
Yeah, he did.
So are you saying that Wally's gonna shave his head soon? Is that what this
Maybe.
is?
I don't know.
I mean, if he ends up coming over
Better
to
wind
Legends, yeah. I mean, I don't think he's doing much running around right now. And
No,
even if he was,
he's been staying put. That's something for a speedster.
and even if he was, he'd be like, it's really hard to tuck a lot of hair and like stick to your form latex bullshit polyester. Who knows what he's wearing? Like, that's a lot of hair to tuck in there.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how they work Wally into the show. I don't think it's going to work very well, but, we're going to have to see.
There's a reason, and
of course
we'll find a reason. We haven't really gotten all the reasons why. First of all, Rip escaped, why he left, while he's doing what he's doing. We haven't gotten any of the background on how they know who Malice is and what he's up to. They honestly know, but they haven't given anyone any really information except for that he needs to be stopped. The heroes and the legends are the ones who good.
Well, I know prior to going live in pre-show, Red Bandit mentioned that Jessie is coming to Legends.
Yeah, she's coming over on episode. I just had it. Let's see, episode 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4 more episodes from now. Called Necromancing the Stone.
So now, is it a way of working her into Legends?
No,
By
it's going to be
Wally
a
in?
one-off kind of
Okay,
role.
a one-off. Okay, so that'll be interesting. I don't know. I don't think Wally's really gonna. He is powerful. He's a speedster. He has his own form of time travel, but I don't think he's quite at that level yet. Even so, even though he's a powerful character, I don't think he's gonna take that forefront. Like he's not gonna take the powerhouse role. I feel like he's gonna stay back, and they're gonna do the same thing that they did with Stein and Jackson, because Firestorm, if you threw him in every freaking battle, I'm pretty sure he'd just flame on and kick ass. Flame on is the wrong character. It's also the wrong comic universe, but still, they just wreck everything. So I think they're gonna do the same thing with Wally, because he is kind of he's a mechanic, he's an engineer. That's kind of what Jackson was. He's that that balance they need to bring back into the Wave Rider. So
I also don't think that he would time travel using the Speed Force, because we've seen how terribly wrong that goes, and it's not
he's witnessed
sustainable. Yeah, it's not sustainable. So yeah, no,
I feel like
don't do that.
He's not going to take a powerhouse role. He's gonna be involved, and you're gonna see him every episode, but he's not gonna be the one throwing all the punches per se.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. We'll see how it works out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see how. I mean, it's right now. I can't really see how he's going to fit in. But
yeah,
we've been surprised by things before, so.
Mm-hmm. He's not going to be like Zari. He's not going to like put up his nose and whatever. Like, you see him, he's all like zen now, and he's going to probably walk in and be like, "I need,
One time meets Mick. That's not going to be zen anything.
That's going to be the best. Oh, I want them to have
Nick's gonna tell him where to stick his zen.
Oh.
Oh, he will.
Yeah.
See, none of us are surprised.
So the next episode of Legends of Tomorrow is called The Curse of the Earth Totem. When Sarah decides to take some private time, the Legends pursue a lead on the whereabouts of the long-lost Earth Totem. Without Sarah's knowledge, the Legends find themselves in 1717 to hunt for Blackbeard's long-lost treasure.
Pirates!
But in true Legends fashion, things go awry. Meanwhile, Ray feels guilty about something he has done and tries to make amends, which lands him in even bigger trouble.
He stole rum.
That sounds like
That's
Ray.
why the rum is gone.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we better get a line from Mick saying, "Why is all the rum gone?"
Hide the rum.
I thought Mick was
I
a
can see
Scotch
Mick-
guy, though.
I can see Mick being a pirate. Totally.
Oh, he's gonna love it.
'Cause all they do is drink.
Oh, he's gonna love it, and he's gonna school
Drink,
them on how to be a
steal,
pirate. Don't do that.
And take girls in every arm. Like, that's what pirates did. They were like ladies' beer and ladies' rum and treasure.
Yeah.
Let's go loot things,
Yep.
pillage. They like to do that, and I feel like Mick would like to do that too.
We also forgot to mention Leo's exit.
Oh yeah, in the first.
Constantine, yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
want to talk about that.
Oh, you
I
say
don't want to talk about it. It just didn't happen.
Just, if we don't talk about it, it never happened, right?
That's how that works. I thought it was very touching, and he's going home to propose
Yeah,
to his
Ray.
Ray.
Who's right?
His Ray.
to his
Ray.
Ray.
He's like, what? No, my Ray.
My Ray.
Not your Ray.
That is a little bit confusing. I mean, we know what they're talking about,
Yeah.
but
I don't know. Ray's been kind of acting weird this whole entire time, so I don't know. Something's up.
he's way more stupid than he should be for a smart guy.
I mean, not only was he trying to, keep the secret that Constantine gave him, but it just seemed like he was more nervous, more jittery than usual.
And then next week's Arrow, we have Collision Course, OTA versus the NTA. Oliver, Diggle, and Felicity disagree with Dinah, Curtis, and Renee on how to handle Black Siren. The two teams face off and a fight ensues.
Great.
Wow, that sounds like last synopsis, except minus add a couple characters.
And for Black Lightning, the episode is called 3 Sevens, The Book of Thunder. Jefferson is on the hunt for his father's killer, while Anissa uses her powers to rectify a wrong after a protest fails. Jennifer grapples with some difficult choices. Elsewhere, Gamby begs for help from Lynn. Yep.
That's it?
Yep. Yeah, I thought that sentence was going to continue after the
After
parentheses, but it did not. Help from
Yeah.
Lynn.
Okay.
Sorry.
Help from Lynn.
I just said,
Help from Lynn.
I was waiting for more. That's what.
Because I thought there was more,
and
and there wasn't. I was tricked.
she psyched you out.
I got psyched out.
I'm really liking Black Lightning, but we did mention before there's going to be some breaks coming in. Black Lightning's going on break. Arrow's going on break. Legends is going to continue.
Yeah,
Flash
Arrow
comes back on the 20th.
March 1st. Legends is continuing on for next week.
Yep. Flash comes back on the 26th or 37th. One of those 2 days.
Yeah, it comes back the same as Legends, so next week will be Flash and Legends.
Mm-hmm. But and then Supergirl's still gone until April, guys and gals.
Yep.
That's a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that about does it. Cleo, where can the people find you?
You can find me at Cleomoto being very sleepy.
Find me down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM.
Madame.
Rachel, where can the people find you?
They can find me at Twitter at VikingWitch76 and on Twitter at VikingWitch. Hopefully I'll be streaming again. I had a migraine for 4 days, so I didn't really feel the need to do that.
Allie.
Nikki, where can the people find you?
On Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyVenom24.
You can find us all and more on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, MySpace, and down below on Twitch, Discord, and YouTube. At /ASO TV Podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows, games, and movies. Till next time.
Bye-bye.
Guys, I went to hit the stop button and the whole podcast is starting back over.
No!
Warning, this podcast contains...
No!
I gotta go.